The Crimean Bridge is more than just a bridge. It's a colossal structure that spans the Kerch Strait, physically linking mainland Russia to the Crimean Peninsula. But its significance goes far beyond its impressive engineering. This bridge is a powerful symbol, a strategic asset, and a focal point in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. For Russia, the Crimean Bridge is a vital lifeline, especially in the context of its war effort in Ukraine. It serves as the main artery for transporting troops, military equipment, and essential supplies directly into Crimea and onward to the front lines. Without this bridge, Russia's ability to sustain its military operations in southern Ukraine would be severely hampered. The bridge was constructed in the years following Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea in 2014. Its completion was celebrated by Russian leaders as a triumph, cementing their physical and political grip over the peninsula. The bridge stretches nearly 19 kilometers, making it the longest in Europe, and stands as a testament to Russia's determination to integrate Crimea with the mainland. The bridge's strategic value cannot be overstated. It allows Russia to move troops, tanks, and supplies quickly and efficiently, bypassing the need for vulnerable sea or air routes. This logistical advantage has played a crucial role in Russia's ability to reinforce its positions and maintain control over occupied territories in Ukraine. Beyond its military utility, the Crimean Bridge is a potent symbol of Russian authority. Its presence is a daily reminder of Moscow's claim over Crimea, and it features prominently in Russian state media as a sign of strength and permanence. For Ukraine, however, the bridge is a stark symbol of Russian aggression and occupation. Many Ukrainians see it as an illegal structure, built to cement a land grab that violated international law and displaced thousands of people. Destroying or disabling the Crimean Bridge would deal a major blow to Russia's military operations. It would disrupt supply lines, isolate Russian forces in Crimea, and send a powerful message about the vulnerability of Russian infrastructure. For Ukraine, striking the bridge would be more than just a tactical win. It would be a huge symbolic victory, inspiring hope among Ukrainians and demonstrating to the world that Russian control over Crimea is not unbreakable. Germany is considering sending Taurus missiles to Ukraine. This would be a major development in the war. Taurus missiles are long-range cruise missiles. They are very accurate and can destroy even heavily fortified targets. With Taurus missiles, Ukraine could strike the Crimean Bridge from a safe distance. These missiles are also difficult for Russia to shoot down. This makes them a very effective weapon. For much of the conflict in Ukraine, Germany has been notably cautious about sending powerful weapons to the region. This hesitancy has been rooted in a complex mix of historical responsibility, public opinion, and concerns about escalating the war. German leaders have often emphasized the importance of diplomacy and restraint, wary of being seen as fueling the conflict or provoking Russia. As a result, Germany's military support for Ukraine has, until recently, been limited to non-lethal aid and defensive equipment, rather than advanced offensive weaponry. But in recent months there has been a noticeable shift in the tone and actions of German policymakers. Growing pressure from allies, changing public sentiment, and the evolving situation on the ground in Ukraine have all contributed to a reassessment of Germany's stance. The government is now facing calls from both within and outside the country to take a more active role in supporting Ukraine's defense. One of the most prominent voices in this debate is Friedrich Merz, the leader of the opposition Christian Democratic Union. Merz has publicly argued that Germany should provide Ukraine with Taurus cruise missiles, long-range, precision-guided weapons capable of striking high-value targets far behind enemy lines. His statements have sparked intense debate within the German parliament and among the public, highlighting the growing divide over how far Germany should go in supporting Ukraine militarily. Merz has even gone so far as to suggest that Ukraine could use these missiles to target the strategically vital Crimean Bridge, a key supply route for Russian forces. This proposal marks a significant escalation in the type of support Germany might offer, and it has raised questions about the potential consequences for Germany's relationship with Russia and its role in the broader conflict. The idea of sending Taurus missiles represents a major departure from Germany's previous policy. For decades, Germany has been cautious about military engagement, shaped by its history and a strong pacifist movement at home. The current debate signals a possible turning point, as the government weighs the risks and responsibilities of deeper involvement. For a long time, Germany's reluctance to get involved in foreign wars was a defining feature of its foreign policy. Memories of past conflicts and a desire to promote peace have made many Germans wary of military action. Yet, as the war in Ukraine drags on and the stakes grow higher, these attitudes are being challenged by new realities. Now, with increasing calls for solidarity and support, Germany appears more willing than ever to help Ukraine defend itself. This shift could have far-reaching implications, not only for the outcome of the war, but also for Germany's role on the world stage and its relationships with both allies and adversaries. The world is watching closely as tensions rise over Germany's possible support for strikes on the Crimean Bridge, a move that has sent shockwaves through international diplomatic circles. Russia, in particular, has responded with strong words and visible unease. The Kremlin has made it clear that it views any Western involvement in attacks on the bridge as a direct threat to its sovereignty and security. Russian officials have held emergency press conferences, and the mood in Moscow is tense, with government buildings under heightened security, and the Russian flag flying defiantly over the Kremlin. The Crimean Bridge, a symbol of Russia's control over Crimea, has become a flashpoint in the ongoing conflict. Dmitry Medvedev, one of Russia's most prominent political figures and a former president, has not minced words in his condemnation of Germany's stance. In a fiery statement, Medvedev went so far as to label Friedrich Merz, a leading German politician, a Nazi, a deeply charged accusation that harks back to the painful history between the two countries. Medvedev's rhetoric is part of a broader Russian strategy to frame Western support for Ukraine as not just a political or military issue, but as a moral affront to Russia itself. His comments have been widely reported in Russian state media, fueling nationalist sentiment and rallying public opinion against what the Kremlin describes as Western aggression. Medvedev also issued a stark warning declaring that any attack on the Crimean Bridge would be interpreted by Russia as a declaration of war. This statement has raised alarm bells across Europe and beyond, as it signals a potential escalation of the conflict to a much broader and more dangerous level. The Russian military has increased its presence around the bridge, conducting drills and parades to demonstrate its readiness to defend what it considers vital infrastructure. The message from Moscow is clear: any threat to the bridge will be met with a forceful response. On the other side of the conflict, Ukraine has welcomed the possibility of increased German support with open arms. Ukrainian officials have expressed gratitude for Germany's willingness to consider providing more advanced weaponry, seeing it as a crucial step in their ongoing struggle to reclaim territory and defend against Russian aggression. In Kiev, the mood is one of cautious optimism, as leaders hope that Western backing will help tip the balance in their favor. The Ukrainian parliament has held special sessions to discuss the implications of receiving new military aid, and there is a sense of renewed determination among both politicians and the public. For months, Ukraine has been actively lobbying its Western allies for more powerful and technologically advanced weapons. Ukrainian military officials have repeatedly emphasized the need for long-range missiles and precision-guided munitions to counter Russia's superior firepower. Press conferences and diplomatic missions have been organized to make the case for increased support, with Ukrainian soldiers often showcasing the effectiveness of Western-supplied arms on the battlefield. The hope is that with better equipment, Ukraine can not only defend its current positions, but also launch successful counteroffensives to regain lost ground. Among the weapons Ukraine is seeking, the Taurus missile stands out as a game-changer. This advanced cruise missile, known for its precision and long range, would significantly enhance Ukraine's ability to strike strategic targets far behind enemy lines. Military analysts believe that the addition of Taurus missiles to Ukraine's arsenal could shift the dynamics of the conflict, giving Ukrainian forces a much-needed edge. The prospect of such a powerful weapon being deployed has not gone unnoticed by Russia, which has issued stern warnings about the consequences of further Western arms deliveries. The international community is following these developments with intense interest and concern. At the United Nations, diplomats from around the world have debated the potential ramifications of Germany's actions, with some calling for restraint and others urging stronger support for Ukraine. News agencies across the globe are providing round-the-clock coverage, analyzing every statement and move by the key players. The situation has become a focal point in international relations, with world leaders weighing the risks and benefits of deeper involvement in the conflict. Within Europe, there is a noticeable split in opinion. Some countries, particularly those in Eastern Europe and the Baltics, have voiced strong support for Germany's decision to send more weapons to Ukraine. They argue that standing up to Russian aggression is essential for the security of the entire continent, and that providing Ukraine with the means to defend itself is both a moral and strategic imperative. NATO allies have held meetings to coordinate their responses, with many expressing solidarity with Germany and Ukraine. However, not everyone is convinced that more weapons are the answer. Some countries and international organizations have voiced concerns that escalating military support could lead to a wider war, drawing in more nations and increasing the risk of a direct confrontation between Russia and the West. Protests have erupted in several capitals, with demonstrators calling for diplomacy and warning against the dangers of an arms race. As the debate continues, the world waits anxiously to see what the next move will be in this high-stakes geopolitical chess game. This is not the first time the Crimean Bridge has been attacked. Back in October 2022, a truck bomb damaged part of the bridge. Then, in July 2023, another attack caused even more damage. These attacks showed that the bridge is definitely vulnerable. They also showed Ukraine's determination to strike back at Russia. With Taurus missiles, Ukraine could inflict even more damage on the bridge. The war in Ukraine is honestly a tragedy for everyone involved, touching countless lives in unimaginable ways. Thousands of innocent civilians have been killed. Cities and neighborhoods have been reduced to rubble and devastation. Millions of people have been forced to flee their homes, leaving behind everything they once knew. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has been strongly condemned by the international community, sparking outrage and protests worldwide. Many countries have imposed strict sanctions on Russia, hoping to pressure for peace, but the fighting just continues relentlessly. The war in Ukraine is at a critical point right now. Russia is struggling to make progress, while Ukraine is determined to fight back. Germany's decision to send Taurus missiles could be a real turning point in the war. It remains to be seen how Russia will react if Germany does indeed send Taurus missiles to Ukraine. But one thing is certain, the war in Ukraine is far from over.